Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia with Raindrop Lila, and today we are gonna do a craft with me, and I hope you guys will join me and try this little craft. I think it'll be fun. In my last journal I made something similar to this, where basically I used a cabinet card or a tag, and then it opens up basically and has some hidden journaling space in it. Now I made this today so I can kind of show you guys what it looks like, and we will be making one also. But what I did was I grabbed a tag just like this, and I cut off the top and I used it right here, and then I used a verse from, let's see, you can use any sentiment you want, but I actually used a verse from one of my aesthetic photo printables. So I think it was from this one. It just seemed to fit this image, so I used that there. And so basically what I have is, all this is a piece of paper folded up into three. So this is what it looks like, right? And this is what we're gonna do. But I actually went and really embellished this a lot. I wanted to just add all these pieces in there and decorate it. But it can, originally my thought was you can go in here and use all the space for journaling, for writing. But today I decided to just really decorate everything. So the way it's folded up, it makes a little tuck spot right here. And so I added one of these aesthetic photos in here. And then I added a tag in here. I did some collaging on here. And I did some stamping. And then when it opens up, you have, like this was at the top, I'll pull it down. And so you have these three spots for either a quote or just like a little bit of a, I would use it just for a quote or a verse or something. And then you have these spots that could be journaling spots. But what I did was I used different pieces from a printable, and I made little tuck spots. Okay. So we're going to make something similar today. Oops. Okay, so this is, I can explain kind of my idea for this if you guys want to hear a little bit about it. Basically, my idea, my inspiration was from this image. It looks like she's comforting her. And so I used this verse. I felt like that verse was just really fitting for this image. And then when you open it up, this is kind of like my idea. I kind of want to make a Bible journal or a prayer journal based on this whole idea. It's actually inspired by the Psalms. And basically, when you read the Psalms, a lot of times you'll see David will go in and he'll pour his soul out before God. He'll express his emotion, and then he'll remember God's word and trust in his word, and then he will get encouraged by God's word. So basically, that's the idea for this. This is where basically I have this part where it says, pour out your soul. And it's also kind of a model for prayer. I actually heard my husband actually did a Bible study on this. So I kind of put it into like a little craft make. I thought that would be cool. So basically here I have a verse about how Hannah, basically she poured out her soul before God. So then this part right here would be a part for a prayer, right? And then this part right here could be, it can also be for a prayer. And this express how basically, so this is a verse. And so you can have room for here for the prayer. You can add little Bible verses that are encouraging, basically. You can write them down on the back. So that's kind of the idea for this. And then you can do the same here. You can add, there's another verse here. And then different verses could be added here that are encouraging and that speak to you, basically. So that's kind of my idea for this little make. The next one will be a little bit different. We're not gonna, I'm just gonna, actually, I'm not quite sure which direction I'm going in. I'm just gonna kind of sit and craft. But I just wanted to show you guys how to make, okay, this is kind of, I have two tuck spots here. So one in the front, let's see if I can get it. So there's one here and then one here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so one of them is a little bit tighter. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of the idea behind this make right here, but we're gonna do something a little bit different, I think. But the idea is the same, okay? And then I have this one, this verse. Okay, so this is, okay, so we're gonna get started. So basically, I'm gonna start with a piece of coffee dyed paper, and all you do is fold it in 3. The one that I made for my journal, I just posted a journal on my YouTube in the flip through. So what I did there, I think I had just 2. So I cut this part out. I didn't have a 3 flap. I had just 2 flaps. But that's okay. You can do it any which way you want. I think I'm going to go... I think I'm going to actually go this way. Okay. Okay, so the idea is you want to fold this in 3, and then you can fold the top over, but we want to use, maybe we'll use her. We could use her too. We'll go with her this time, okay? And so this part, I'm just gonna tear it off, right? You can cut it off. And I was also gonna say that anything works with this type of projects. I'll kind of try to explain in just a second. Okay, so, and my folds are not going to be perfect, and I'm doing that on purpose. Actually, maybe I should do it this way. Let's see. Maybe I should do it on this side. Okay. So see how I didn't, I find it kind of, I think that it looks good when everything's not lined up perfectly. Now, if you like it lined up perfectly, go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to do that for this. I'm actually purposefully going for kind of a, just like a more, a natural look. Okay, so basically I just folded this in 3. And this is some tea dye paper, and what I did was I opened the tea bag, and I also added a bit of starch, and so the chamomile from the tea ended up on my paper, and I love that. I love the look. Okay. Okay, so this is what we're going with. I was also going to mention that I pulled out different pieces because you can take this. I've done this before with a lot of different types of journaling cards or tags. So basically, what I like to do for this, since it's very simple on the front, you can make it very simple where everything inside is just for journaling. But I like, for the cover, I like it to be a focal point. So basically, you can do this one, you can do this, but this I would actually do it on a smaller version, maybe something like this size, right? Maybe that small, or maybe this, you know, just about the same size as the image. I have this one too. So any type of journaling card or any image. This would be also pretty with some, like some sentiments. Like I have these here, where you could cut them out and add those to it. This would be cute, and again, I would trim this down about there. This would work also. I would probably layer maybe some lace underneath there if I use that one for some added detail. This would be really cute. I was going to do this one too. This would be so cute. I have this. This is actually a freebie in my Ko-fi shop. Then this one, I think this is really cute. Again, I would cut off the top of the tag and then just use the visual part. And then if you like florals, you can always go with a floral. I would probably trim this down so that it would match the sizing of it better. These I actually, I printed this out recently so I could make some cards with these. So basically, I would just use cardstock and glue this on top. But anyway, so that's why I figured, you know, I can cut this out, cut this down maybe a little bit so it's a little bit more narrow, and make one with these two. Maybe we'll make more than one. We'll see how the time goes. Okay, so basically we have this. Now if you wanted to, you can definitely layer this, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm looking for, this is just some Amazon packaging, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to layer it on here. I like that look. I actually used a lot of this in this one too, like to lay as a backing on different pieces. It adds some contrast, so it looks really good. Okay. So now I'm just going to tear this out. Okay, so I tore a little bit too much on the side. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to fold this. Sometimes I like pieces folded up a little bit. Maybe I'll do like a little crease here too. It just adds some character. Okay, so here we have I think that's pretty. I like that. I'm thinking now to ink the edges of my paper. And I'm just using some walnut stain ink from it's Tim Holtz. Okay, now I'm going to glue this down. Just Just right there. Okay, so there is, basically this is the basics of it. See that? Okay, and then I'm thinking, did I do this one different? I think this one was different. Okay, so this one folds, it folds into itself. See that? It folds this way and then this way and then this way. So the flap is on the very edge. This one, I actually put the flap on the middle because I didn't fold it this way. Does that make sense? I don't think it matters, honestly. See how that is? I hope that makes sense. Oops. And if you do just 2 flaps, then it also will be, it'll kind of be a little bit different. But it's the same idea, basically. You can make different variations of it. Okay, and then what I did was I collaged the back of this. And let's see what I have. I'm just going to use some scraps. Maybe, let's see. Actually, I'm just going to use some of my printable. This is from my yellow collection. And yeah, I'm going to just tear the edges. Okay. I'm going to fold up the corners just a little bit. And then I think we're just going to glue it down right here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's how it looks. And then we can take some lace. This really pretty lace is from Jaizella with Lavish Laces. I love this lace. It's so, so pretty. Okay. So there it is. This is how basic it is. It's so pretty, and now there's plenty of room to decorate or to write inside. We'll do a little bit more work in it, but I want to show you guys how it looks in a journal. I have one of my personal journals right here. It's obviously not going to be the same style. This is very bright, and but I just wanted to kind of show you guys, you can just basically tuck it in to a journal. Isn't that cute? You can just add a paper clip. Let's see, do I have a clip here somewhere? I do. So basically you can just paper clip it in or use a bulldog clip. And isn't that great? I just love it. I love the idea. My journal's not done. It's just, I started it a few weeks ago. It's just one of my personal mini journals. Okay, so that is what I have so far. Let's see what else we can do in here. Maybe I can use a flower. That would be pretty. So basically all I want to do is just do some collaging. This is from the top of that tag, and we can totally use it because it has this pretty script, and we can use this as part of the collage. Okay, what else do we have? I'm gonna use some of this. Okay, now maybe I'll use some fabric. I did that over here on this page too. I used some fabric right here and right here. And I actually love the way it looks. Here, let's see. If you're not sure where to go with like collaging, or if you want some tips, a lot of times when I collage, I'll lay everything out first. That seems to kind of help so that if you're not sure, if you like it or not, you can move things around. You don't have to totally glue everything down, right? Like you can go like this. Sometimes it's nice to vary the colors and the contrasts. So maybe I'll have okay, and I will link down the printables that I use below if you guys want to use what I'm using, but you can totally use what you have for this project. I love this paper though. I think it's so, so pretty. This is one of my favorite ones from my Yellow Roses collection. Actually, I have a lot of favorites, but this is just one of them. So basically, we can just do a little bit of collaging on here. And maybe we'll do this. Or here it is. I have some receipt paper that I could use. Okay. I want a softer edge, so I'll probably layer over this one with like a torn edge. I have this stuff here too, and I think I want some like lighter book page. My glue is getting pretty messy. Oh my goodness. I actually got some glue on top of this, so I'm just going to use this to layer on top like that. Maybe I'll add this in here. Usually I have paper towels nearby, but I don't this time. I think I need to clean it up. Because it got just way too bad. Some of it is harder on here. There, that looks so much better. Okay, so we're just doing a bit of collaging, and you don't have to worry too much about it because we're going to layer on top of it. Should I go here? Maybe I'll go there. Oh, I forgot about this piece. Maybe I'll put this piece here. And then I want something up there. We can do this. Oh, you know what? I'm not totally on camera. I'm sorry about that. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with that rose here. I'm going to see what else I have that I can use. Okay, I feel like this covers it up a lot, which is fine, but I want to see if there's something else that I want to use instead. Let's see. Because I like to try out different options before I decide on one thing. Okay, so apparently my my camera turned off and I didn't realize it, but what I did was I did this little collaging on here. I added this beautiful lady. She's from one of my Fussy Cut printables, and I added some wings behind her, and then I added this rose fussy cut. This is from the same printable as the lady. I added a ticket, another ticket, and then I used some netting behind her and then some dotted Swiss, and then I just added the label, and I think it turned out so pretty. So I just basically collaged that piece, and so here is what it looks like. And then the inside can also be collaged. I'm actually thinking maybe to add a pocket with this on here. Maybe I can make a pocket right here, and then I could tuck something in right there. So all I do is I just add a little bit of glue on the bottom and on the side. And you want to make sure that you're gluing the side that you want glued down, right? Sometimes I don't think about it and then I accidentally glue the wrong side. That's why I mention it. Okay, so we have that. And then let's see, will this This tag will fit in there, I think. So let's add this tag. You can add anything to the pocket. It can also be a journaling card, just a bit of paper for like journaling space. Okay, so I'm just gonna add this in here. I'm gonna ink the edges. And you know what? I think I want to add some stamping on the back. And I have a few stamps. I have a few things in here. Let's see. I can do this little flower. It's a tiny little flower. I think it's so cute. And I could just add and it just adds a little bit of detail to the tag. Let's see, what else can I add? I can do like a little or one of these guys. I feel like the colors are too close. I want something a little bit different. See, that stands out a little bit more. And then this is one of my textile. That's kind of cute. Look at that. I like that actually. Maybe I'll do that. But I'm covering up the flowers now. I didn't think about that. Let's see. What am I doing? I like it right there. And then should I add it or should I not? You know what I could do? I can add a little bit of book page just to add a little bit of interest, and it covers up it'll cover up the stamping, and I can always use stamping somewhere else. I've been trying to use up more stamps in my makes and my journals. And so, but that's okay. We can cover it up and move on. I think the thing is, I love the stamps, but I really want to use this little bit. I think it adds a lot to the top. Now I'm going to trim these off. And then I want to add this. I think that's really cute. This is from my haberdashery collection, but you know, you can add just a strip of paper up right there too. And you know, I can use a little bit of this too. Let's see, how am I gonna add it on here? So yeah, you can use, for this part right here, you can use a strip of paper. You can use a strip of like a fabric, like a scrap of fabric. You can really use anything. Okay, so I just made a little bow. I think that's really cute. Even the back is really cute. Isn't that cute? I think I want to add a little bit more ink on that edge. Okay, now, you know what we could do? We could... Where's my little stamp? I could stamp down here the little flower, right? Okay. Come on. And there's the tag. So just a few. I just embellished it just a little bit. Isn't it just so cute? Okay. I kind of want to add something to this one too. I have some lace that I can add. Should I do lace or should I do this piece? This is really pretty. Or should I layer it? That's kind of pretty. Layered. Should I do that? Okay, I'm going to add glue on this side. Okay. That's cute and I love it. Let's see. Gotta make sure that this closes. You want to keep that in mind. Okay. That's really cute. Isn't that cute? I love it. I think it's really cute. Okay, here, what do we want to do here? I want to add some of this. I love this paper. I love the contrast so much. Okay. Okay, and then I think I'm going to run it all the way up to this part. Okay, and I'm just going to tear it. And then I'm going to ink it. And scrunching it up just a little bit. Scrunching it up always helps because it's going to make it look better and it gives it some character. Okay. I like this. That looks good. Or maybe should I do a butterfly? This says moments like this. I'm like, where do I want to put it? That kind of is pretty right there, actually. I like that a lot. I'm going to add it here, and I'm going to tear this side. Okay. Okay, like that. That's gonna tuck in there. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Do I want to use this? I kind of want to use this. What if, don't be afraid to change things up. See, I'm just tearing that part off. And this part. Okay. I like the coloring. I feel like the coloring looks really good together. Okay. Let's see, what else should I add to this? I have this. Do I want to use this here? It's a little bit bulky. Or do I have something more delicate? I can even use this. Or some fabric, let's see. I always love using this tulle netting. That looks so pretty. But I'm looking for some fabric. Maybe this piece. Okay, so I just tore that piece off. And then we can add this here. I'm going to glue it down. I'm thinking, should I sew on here? Should I add some stitching? Or should I keep it simple? I got a needle right here. I'm still not decided if I should sew something. If I find thread, maybe I will. And I did find thread right next to me. Is that a sign? I'm not sure what I want to sew on here, but I'm just going to go with it. I was wondering right now, I was thinking, what should I do? That's why I didn't say anything. Like, should I do little French knots maybe on here? And then I'm going to have to do little stems too, I think. Or should I do, like, how many? Should I just do 3 or should I do more? I don't usually plan out my makes. I always kind of go, I just am kind of more of a spontaneous crafter, if that makes sense. Okay, so basically I did a little bit of hand stitching on here. I sewed up, I did some French knots and then just made sewed little flowers in her hands and then down here too. Okay, and then I'm just gonna add this right here to the page, and I'm gonna glue it down now. So this was, you don't have to go into this much detail. You definitely could just grab a card or an image and then just glue it down. Okay? I think that's so cute though. But if you want to be a little extra, you can definitely add some detail by stitching on your either your image or your photo or whatever you're using. Okay, I'm going to add some more glue here. I'm going to tuck some of that tulle down like that. Let's see what else I have. Okay, and then this part right here, I think I want to keep this for journaling space. Okay, so let's see how we can add just a little bit of detail to decorate it, but then leave it for, maybe I'll add this to the bottom. Maybe I'll add some washi tape right here. This is washi tape from Amity Bloom. And I think it'll be just like a nice little detail. I add a little bit of glue to my washi tape just to make sure it stays down, because I'm gonna fold this over. And so when you fold it and open it a lot, washi tape's made to be a little bit basically removable, so it's nice to be able to make sure that it'll stay, right? Okay, so I like that. So then look at all that space for writing, and then this will be folded down like this, and then we have our little tie. I think that is so cute. Okay. Okay, and then I have this one. I probably will make some more of these. I think they are so fun to make. Okay, let's see. This was up here in this little pocket. And then, oops. This isn't tucked in all the way, so it was having trouble folding, if that makes sense. Okay, now it's folding better. So all the pieces kind of have to, you're going to want to make sure they're tucked in properly. And then this, I just have that tucked in here like this. And I actually like the way you can see the ribbon coming out. And here is my little tie, my lace tie. I think it's so pretty. It's like the perfect little detail. So these could be as simple or as or they can be as decorated and as extra as you want them to be. So basically you can go all out and do a lot of collaging, or you can just keep it simple and just keep it simple for adding words and writing on there. And that is it. I hope you guys like this little craft with me. I think it's so cute. I really am going to want to make some more of these. If you guys do make these, I would love to see them. So if you guys are on Instagram or even on YouTube, tag me so I can see your makes. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell button. If you want to know which digitals I used, I will link them in the description box below. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.